Okay, did you start recording? I think I forgot to tell you.
Yeah, I already started previously. Just now I disconnected. Because you
Oh,
disconnected, right? So now I started again back.
okay. Okay.
It's already running.
Yeah.
Okay, and so first time user is logged in and S1 is created. Okay,
Right. Yeah.
and whenever if any session ID got created, it immediately it will update its memory. So S1, and what is the max interval? One I had
One.
given, right? If you are not giving anything, so it will update some -1 something, some negative number it will update. Okay, so if
Yeah.
you give something, so I had given 1, so it will update 1. Okay, fine. And now come
Yeah.
back so the response came back to the user, and as per inside the cache the session ID will be saved, and as part of next request the session ID will come back again. And what it will do, the server, so session ID S1, right? So it will go and it will check inside the database.
Right.
So if S1 is there, if S1 is there, so what it will do, it will give the response back. So
Right.
here, okay, if S1 is there inside the database, it will give a response back. So, and okay, keep that that point in your mind. And then now the second question is, so S1 and 1 set max interval I had given 1, right?
Yeah.
So what will happen? What is the advantage of that max interval 1, right? So this session ID will be kept into the memory or into the server side only for a minute.
Yeah.
After a minute, till 1 minute, if you are not sending any one request, if 1 minute, if you are ideal, what it will do, this S1 will be removed from the session, sorry, from the
Yes.
database side.
Right.
After 1 minute, if you send any request, what will happen? It will look into the database. Okay, it will look
And
into the database, and it will say session ID is not found, so session ID is
okay.
expired, please log in back again.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, and even
Yeah.
though you are sending some session ID S1 will come to the server, but S1 is not there in
Yeah. Is already.
database, is
Yeah.
already inactivated. So you will get response as the session ID is expired, please relog in again.
Yeah.
Okay, now we will see that point also. Okay, now go back to the, this is very important how the session is maintaining. Okay, now what is the last session ID? I think it got cleared. It's
Uh,
got cleared.
yeah.
Okay, now let me refresh it. Submit it. So what is the session ID? It got created
Yeah.
9D6.
96.
So what will happen now? The session ID is created and the lifespan is 1 minute. So till if 1 minute, if you are not hitting, if you are not sending any request from this browser or from this client, what will happen? The session ID will be removed from the database or from the memory. Okay, but
Yeah.
still in
Yeah.
your browser, that session ID is saved into the cookie or cache.
Yeah.
Okay, but inside the server side, that session ID is not there.
Okay.
Correct. So whenever you
Yeah.
are sending second request after 1 minute, after more than 1 minute, so then server is not able to identify that session ID, then it will throw back your session is expired, please relog in again.
Right.
So that is the way we are maintaining the state and the session from the user side and the server side.
Right.
So this is clear, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now come back to, so that is the advantage of this max interval, set max
So
inactive interval.
if you want to use the 15 second, then 0.15, is that right?
So basically it will take minutes. Okay, you mean to say seconds, how you want
Yeah.
to
So
give.
yeah.
Okay, seconds I will tell you later. And if let's suppose say if I'll give minus some negative number, so what will happen? If I'll give some negative number, means the session will never expire.
Never expire.
So the same thing, if Facebook, right? I think Facebook there is no session expire kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Only for banking related sites. So they will give session is a 15 minutes. If you will give minus, so it will never expire the session. It will never remove the
Okay.
session ID from the database.
Right.
So this is one approach, and the second approach, we can able to maintain the session ID from the session config, session timeout. So here also you can give. Did you see there? Session -config, session underscore timeout. Both are same. Either you can able
Right.
to set in servlet side or web.xml side. Both are same.
Right. Right.
So you can able to do it anyway. So here also if you give some minus number, so the session will never expire.
Yeah.
And now the second question you are asking, right? You want to give the session time as a seconds.
Right.
So that one even I never tried. Maybe I will tell you. I will check and I will tell you that one. Okay. And so this is about session. And the next question, next one is, right? So there is a filter. Next there is a two topics is there. What is that? First topic I'll tell you. Listeners. Okay. And I think you notice, right? If you see some of the websites, right? Once if you logged in, right? So they will display on the top side 50 users logged in, 10
Yeah.
users
Yeah.
logged out. It's keep on increasing the number, decreasing the numbers. How many users are active? How many users are logged out?
Right.
So how many users are online? 10 users are online and 50 users are live, something like that. So how they are maintaining that count? So how many users are logged in? How many users are logged out?
Right.
So this is so to count this one we have to. So there is a concept called listeners. Okay. So what is the listener? So for every user we are creating one session ID, right?
Right.
Okay. So whenever you are creating one session, so whenever you are creating a session ID, so this is the one. So whenever you are creating a session ID, you can increase the count. Currently the count is 1. So whenever you are
Yes.
creating new session ID, you can increase it. Okay.
Right.
So
Yeah.
this is way. And the second one is whenever if any user is doing the logout or the session is expired, so then what you have to do? You have to maintain a count. You have to decrease it.
Decrease it.
So that way we can able to maintain the how many users are logged in and how many users are logged out.
Right.
So how to check? I mean session ID when how to maintain a count when the session is creating new session is creating. So that we can able to manage it by using the listeners.
Okay.
So there is another concept called listener. So by using the listeners, so we can able to check how many new session IDs are creating.
Right.
So that way we can able to maintain the count. The similar way, so how many sessions are deactivating.
Right.
So basically we have to write two listeners. One listener is creating the new count and second listener is deactivate count.
Decrease count. Right.
So by using these two count, we can able to manage. So 10 users are logged in and 2 users are logged out.
Right.
So now the current live customers or live users are 8.
Hey.
So this is the way we can able to maintain the count by using the listeners.
Right.
Okay. And
Yeah.
I will give some examples how to maintain the count and all. Okay.
Yeah.
And the next topic is filters. So what is the advantage of filters? Okay. Let's suppose coming to back. Yeah. So this is the username and password, correct?
Right.
So here you will enter some username and you will enter here some password, correct? After
Right.
after that what you will do? Click here and you will go back to the database and you will check whether this user is valid or invalid, correct?
Right.
Okay. Before that, what you want to do? before reaching the database and before reaching checking the like username and password is valid or invalid. So can you do some other check, like whether this user ID is a valid one or not, this user ID is existing or not? First check,
Okay.
forget about password, first check whether this user ID is a valid one or not.
Not
So
right.
I will tell you the another way. The best example is what I noticed. Did you see there? What is this one? If you see some 3-4 years before, first time what it used to display username, below that
Password.
password, correct? Now it is displaying
Next.
only username. Why it is not displaying password? Tell me.
Because first verifying the password that whether it exists or not.
Yes, first verify the username valid or invalid. Then you can go for a password. Correct?
Right.
So just to provide more security, they some 2 years before or some 2.5 years before, the Google people, they are not displaying password directly.
Right.
So first they don't want to give the password option. What will happen, if you give the password and username and password together, so whatever you are typing, some junk, anything, so it will go to the database and it will try to check this username and password is there or not. If it is not there, they will get some information. Correct?
Right.
So they don't want to
Yeah.
give that chance to the hacker. So that's what they did. So they are not displaying username and password directly. So they are displaying only username. So first they're validating if the username is proper. Let me see here. So this username is not there.
Yeah.
Let me submit. What it's telling?
Google doesn't recognize.
Yes. Now let me give my valid user ID. Now I can able to get my password option, correct? So this is the better way and secure way, right?
Right.
So basically they are forwarding a filter kind of thing. So they're directly, they are not going to the database, or they are not giving an option to enter the password, correct?
Right.
So how can we do this kind of check before reaching your servlet? So your servlet is a very secure one, correct? So
Yeah.
user should not reach directly your servlet. So before reaching your servlet, you provide a kind of a gatekeeper or kind of security.
Right.
So that we can able to do it by using the filter concept. So what is the filter concept? I will reiterate again. So now, listener, you got some idea, right?
Yeah.
So as part of next class, what I will do, I will give an example. So then you will get more idea. Okay, listener and filter also. So now go back to, this is your server, correct?
Yeah.
So inside your server, you have a servlet.
Yeah.
And this is your user.
Yeah.
Browser. So user, right now what is happening, user whenever he clicks submit, so directly he is reaching servlet, correct?
Right.
But servlet is a very secure operation. I don't want to reach him directly. So before reaching the servlet, what I want to do, I want to keep one kind of
Layer.
bodyguard or filter.
Filter. Yeah.
So what will happen if I keep that one? So if I'll keep a bodyguard kind of thing, so whenever if any next user request is coming, so first it will reach filter.
Right.
So filter side, what I will do, I will validate it whether this user is a genuine one or not. If user ID is a valid one or not. If it is a valid, then I will allow to the servlet side. If it is invalid, what I will do, I will send back
Right.
filter itself. So this will not be encouraged.
Right.
So this one we can able to achieve it by using the filter.
Right.
So okay, let's suppose you have a 10 servlets, and you have a 10 servlets, and let's suppose inside the 10 servlets, 8 are secured and 2 are not secured.
Mostly right.
Okay, only you have one filter. So this one filter you can apply
Right.
for these 8 servlets, and rest of the 2 servlets filter is not required. So they can able to reach directly.
Right.
So you create a filter and you can apply this filter to whatever servlets you want.
Right.
so that every servlet no need to go to the filter. Some request can go directly, I mean, it can able to reach directly the servlets, and some requests, so based on the action. So you're mentioning some action right here.
Right.
So this, if XYZ means XYZ should go via filter. PQR should go for PQR request, filter verification is not required. So
Right.
based on the action what you are specifying, based on that we can able to decide it whether this action filter verification is required or not.
Right.
So this for this one also I'll give an example. So if 10 requests are coming, some requests can able to reach directly and some requests should go via filter.
Right.
So whenever if any request is coming via filter, so we need to validate the request and we need to check whether it's a valid user or valid request parameters is there or not.
Right.
So this is one example, and another example I can give you. If you see some of the banks, right? See here, if I'll enter something junk, continue.
Yeah.
So here it's not displaying anything. But basically, right? So here it's supposed to display some image. Did you see there any this Indian bank one basically? So here it's
Yeah.
not displaying an image. So just by seeing the image, you can able to say this is a secure one. My image came back. Based on your customer ID, it will display image. For each customer, a dedicated image is there. So just by seeing that, you can able to confirm, yeah, this is a secure one. So it's displaying my proper image. Then you can enter your password.
Right.
So that is also just to provide more security. Instead of directly entering the password, just to confirm whether whatever browser or URL you typed and you are trying to enter the password, whether it is a genuine URL or not.
Right.
So that's what, if you see most of the banks, right, first you have to enter your username and submit it. As part of the response, it will display one image. I don't know whether in US banks.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
First user ID you have to enter it. First what you have to do, you have to user ID, you have to enter it, submit it, then it will go to the server and it will give back to you. Again the same user ID it will display, and just below it will display image,
Right.
and below that it will display password option.
Password.
So if you see this image is yours, then only provide your password.
Right.
If you see this image is not yours, then don't provide the password, just close the browser.
Right.
So this is the way to provide a filter kind of filtration of valid requests.
So I have one question. Is that actually
Mm-hmm.
Sarb? You told me in the last class actually about the Ajax. Ajax actually, I was looking the document from the W3 schools
Okay.
and Servlet where I should go because I get so that.
Yeah, servlet, right? If you see our Ajax code, I will explain you. Now you have some idea, right? What is servlet and all. So go back to
Yeah.
Ajax example. So this is your Ajax example. Yeah. So this is your Ajax, correct?
Yeah.
Ajax HTTP open some method.
Right.
So what you have to pass here, get or post, correct? This is clear,
Yes.
right now? And after
Right.
that, you have to give your application name, localhost, HTTP, server name, servlet, and action.
Right.
This is your servlet name, XYZ. In this case, what is the action name here? XYZ.
Excellent.
So here action name is test servlet.
Right.
So this is your application name slash action name. And if you want to pass anything, I think you saw right previously in the browser side, it is displaying the username and password, URL.
Right.
So here also same thing, country equal to the selected value.
Yeah.
So from the drop down, I'm reading this value. See document dot ajax dot country dot value. Country equal to whatever country is selected, that one I'm passing as part of the request.
Okay, so in W3 school, is there any document that, or can you give any references where I should go for Servlet?
Yeah, I'll give you some URLs today. I'll
Okay.
send you URLs, and also I'll send you that Ajax this link,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
video
Actually,
link.
that would be okay, because so that I can go bit.
Yeah, I'll
Uh,
send today two videos.
about that.
Today's video and the past video.
Right.
Okay, just
So
yeah.
okay, so that means that Ajax and Servlet is related each other, or
It's a server is a request means you can raise any kind of request.
okay, yeah.
So now you are trying to reach us. You can consider as of now, Ajax request means it is going to the servlet.
Okay.
So servlet or any file reading or anything you can able to read it. You can keep one file in a particular server and try to read that file.
Right.
So anything. So anything you are trying to interact with some different resource. It's not only servlet, just you are trying to communicate to different server or different file system, or you want to get some information, so that you can call it as Ajax request.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
when is our next class? Tomorrow, or Wednesday?
And tomorrow I think 1 second, I'll check my calendar.